Hello and welcome to the Random Wrestling Review. It's the latest episode of our local to global series. We are, of course, playing as the Random Wrestling Review. That's review with an REVUE. Very clever play on words. Not very clever, but ultimately we've had it going now for nearly 70 episodes, and so we're not ditching it now. You join us right at the end of the year 2000. We're December 2000. We started the game obviously back in 1995, so we are well into this save. And if you have been following us since the beginning of that, then thank you very much. And thank you for continuing to follow along. As you can see, I am still very much enjoying this whole game and intend to keep going for some time. Now, I've got to remember a couple of things because the first thing is you'll remember a few episodes ago, maybe even a couple of episodes ago, I'm not sure which exactly, Pat Patterson signed an exclusive contract with ECW and he is indeed leaving the company in 5 days' time. So we need a new road agent for the company. And that is the most important thing that we can actually do right now is get a new road agent in, because if we don't do that, we'll be in a little bit of trouble. So we're going to bring in a new road agent to come in and join the company. You know what I've done? I've forgotten what makes for a good road agent. I think it's it is that I think it's like respect or reputation. There's a couple of different ones that it could be. So I'm just going to try and remember. I mean, this is me looking at the guide to the game for the first time here, since doing this. Why can't I find what I want to find here? This is different than it used to be, than it is these days. Sorry. So what? Let me have a look. So I think it's basics, and I think it's possibly reputation. Maybe respect contributes as well. That's what I think I remember. But unfortunately, finding the here we go, worker roles. Maybe this will help. Does it say anything about road agent here? No, nothing specific. I wanted to know a little bit more about being a road agent. Maybe road agent feedback? Nope. Oh, this is no good, is it? Road agent performance. Okay. For example, road agent skills. This is here we go. Experience and psychology. Experience and psychology with a little influence from respect. So experience and psychology is what matters here. So 90 and 66 and 74 for Danny Davis. I don't think he's particularly expensive either, Danny Davis. He might be someone we bring in. He's not going to be as good as Pat Patterson, but I think I'd be surprised if we find anyone as good as him who's also reasonably cheap. No, Hiko Takada, 1,300 per show. I think we'll leave that. Rey Mysterio, senior, of course. Reputation 100, psychology. I mean, he would be excellent. Can he speak English? Well, I mean, imagine he can. He's lived in America most of his life, or certainly for a very long time. Let's just have a look. Personal info. Speaks fluent English. I mean, he might be somebody to bring in. Steve Lombardi. What was it? Experience 100, psychology. I mean, he's very good, actually. Tempted to go with Lombardi because he's cheaper than Rey Mysterio and he's about the same. So they both got 100 experience. He's a little bit less on the psychology front, and he is employed by a lot of people. That might, whereas Rey Mysterio is unemployed. Which, I mean, should we just go with Rey Mysterio? I think we may as well. It's just Lombardi's a little cheaper. Let's just have a look at when he's available on the schedule. I mean, look at this; is really busy. He is available on the Mondays of each week. I think I'm going to go with him. I know this is going to be a little bit more complex to make sure he's not, working elsewhere. But Steve Lombardi is going to be the man. So Steve Lombardi is going to be our new road agent. Now, I'm also going to sign somebody, but I know exactly who it's going to be. This is the replacement for Keith Hart, and it's TJ Wilson we're going to bring in. Obviously, Tyson Kidd, obviously Hart Dungeon Academy graduate. I mean, academy, it's not really a academy, but graduate of the dungeon, close friends with the likes of Teddy Hart and D.H. Smith and all the rest of them. So he's going to be coming in as our newest signing to the company as well. So we've got the Brooklyn Brawler, Steve Lombardi, coming in as our new road agent, and TJ Wilson will be coming in to replace Keith Hart in the company. So that's everything I think I needed to do before our next show. No, it's not. I actually needed to book the show because we haven't. Oh, I say book it. I mean, like actually organize for it to happen because we haven't got it in the calendar. And I want to see if we've got everyone available on Sunday of week 4. We do. I want this to be a free show, and it's going to be New Year's Bash. And it's going to, as I said, be a free show. We'll give it a year post fix. This is going to be an annual show. 1 hour 30. I'm starting to wonder whether we should be making our shows 2 hours, to be honest. But 1 hour 30 feels like it's reasonable, actually, anyway. Like if you think about most sports, most films, they last around about 90 minutes. Or at least the good ones do, anyway. Let's say that. So Sunday, week 4 in December. Yeah, everybody's available for this one. So just double check that I'm not being silly. Yeah, that's right. So everyone's available for New Year's Bash. A free show on Sunday, week 4. We obviously did the free show for the Millennium Party, or Party of the Millennium, sorry, last New Year's Eve. And now we're just going to do the New Year's Bash on a yearly basis, and it's going to be a free show, which means we should be able to get one of our biggest crowds, if not our very biggest crowd. Let's just check what that would need to be if we were going to get our highest attendance. It would need to be over 216, but we have increased in popularity since then, so I see that as being possible. So let's go to our next player-controlled show. And yeah, as I said, thank you earlier on for kind of following along with the series. If you are just finding us today, then please give us a like and give us a subscribe, and then go back after you've watched this one. Go back and oh, we've got one of these connection errors again. Bear with me 1 second. Oh, sorry about that. We've recovered the game again now. This happened a couple of times recently, but anyway, TJ Wilson is in. Steve Lombardi is still in, thinking about his contract. So let's just keep going. But yeah, if you are, then after you've watched this, go back and watch everything to see how we got here, because there's been loads and loads of stuff. And I think, I'm really proud of this series. I really am really proud of it. Not that it's hugely successful in terms of number of views, but that's understandable in a way because this is obviously not a real company. In comes Brooklyn Brawler. And a lot of the wrestlers we sign are not the biggest name wrestlers going. So it's not a real world scenario, really. And it's not got a lot of name people that people will necessarily want to watch in a save. But that hasn't stopped me carrying on, and I really do think this has been a really good series with some really great stories that I've enjoyed putting together and bringing to everybody. So yeah, if you are joining now, please go back and give us a watch of all those other episodes. Now, let me point you in the direction of our rankings, because this is where we are heading towards our Christmas show. Batista, obviously the champion. Billy Kidman, now number 1 contender. He and Chris Harris both have 12 points apiece. And we've got Rex King and Charlie Haas on 10, although Charlie Haas is currently out injured. We've got Ace Steel on 9, Teddy Hart, Barry Buchanan, and C.W. Anderson on 8, Chemo on 6, Eric Young on 3, Bobby Walker on 2, and 4 men on 1 point. They are Jim Neidhart, CM Punk, James Storm, Buddy Wayne, and then Mark Henry and Sean Stasiak have 0. And a reminder for anyone who doesn't remember or hasn't seen before, the way our rankings work is that effectively you get a point for every single match that you win, whether that be singles, tag team, 6-man tag, whatever. You then have the person with the most points is the number 1 contender. And whoever wins the match between the champion and the number 1 contender, obviously is the champion. The one who loses all their points and drops to the bottom of the rankings, which is why Mark Henry and Sean Stasiak are currently in the bottom 2 positions, because they're 2 of the more recent men who have had a title shot. And then what also happens is the next person becomes the number 1 contender, and so on and so forth until forever, basically. And right now, Billy Kidman is our number 1 contender, and that is why he is scheduled to main event New Year's Bash, this free show, and take on Dave Batista for the title. Now, Billy Kidman obviously recently turned heel on Buddy Wayne and was in a match with Buddy Wayne at the Seasons Beatings show, which took place in our last episode. And in the course of that match, got helped by the Rebellion, Ace Steel, Chemo, and Barry Buchanan, to win the match by surprise. Billy Kidman obviously had turned on Buddy Wayne, his former mentor, a few months ago, and then got the help of the Rebellion in the last show. So he is not only, there's perhaps some explanation to do in regards to what the association is there, but also he has got a chance to become the new Northwest champion at New Year's Bash, as he will face Dave Batista for the title. And we are nearing 2001, which, I got a minute when we started this series, I wasn't convinced we'd get to, but here we are. And it really feels like I still really feel like there's a lot of life in this series. And certainly I've got plans already in my head for quite a way in the future. So Pat Patterson has left the Random Wrestling Review. That's because he extended his deal with ECW. So and he went to become a exclusive written deal. He had previously just a kind of I don't know what the word is, but whatever it is, he wasn't signed to them exclusively. He is now signed to ECW exclusively. We have got our new members of the roster in, which I've forgotten already. So Rey Mysterio, is it Rey Mysterio? Oh, Steve Lombardi, that's right. God, my memory is not as what it once was. So he is fine. We don't mind if he works heel because we don't intend to use him as a wrestler. We intend to just use him as a road agent, and that's fine. He's going to be used as a road agent for the time being. I'm assuming he can still do that with knee tendonitis. I'm hoping, because if he can't, we're in a bit of trouble. And we're going to have to use Bruce Hart again, who wasn't the best for a long time. We, of course, are playing as Bruce Hart, but I guess in that respect, I'm not the best, being that I am effectively Bruce Hart here. So yeah, I was going to look at medical. Okay, he was working through it anyway, so we're all good. Um, so yeah, let's go into. Yeah, I guess it's time to go into our next show. And let's start to put this back at the Marshall Center again. This is kind of becoming our kind of home, venue now. Really, we've been there a lot as of late, and this one obviously we're hoping to get as close to filling it as possible, or as close to filling it as we've done so far, I should say. So let's start with an angle for this pre-show. Then it's going to be Ace Steel, it's going to be Billy Kidman, it's going to be Barry Buchanan, and it's going to be Chemo. And effectively, Ace Steel welcomes Kidman to the rebellion and says he will be the next Northwest champion. So a bit of an introductory thing here with Ace Steel, kind of introducing Billy Kidman to the rebellion. He is the new fourth member. You remember that the rebellion kicked out ECMO a few months back. Kidman has replaced ECMO, and he then says that Kidman's going to be the new Northwest champion. He says that CM Punk could have been in this position, but Kidman is the rightful choice, and tonight they will win the world title. So then our first match of the night is going to be a 2-on-2 contest, and it's going to see Mark Henry and Sean Stasiak face TJ Wilson and Teddy Hart. So TJ Wilson's coming in as Teddy Hart's teammate. And I think what we were going to do here, we're going to make this a 15-minute time limit draw, but that Sean Stasiak is going to dominate, and so is Mark Henry. So they're going to dominate their opponents, but they're not going to be able to finish them off. So basically, the idea behind this match is that they basically beat the hell out of Wilson and Hart, but they can't get the victory, and they get frustrated by the fact that they don't get the victory. And TJ Wilson and Teddy Hart hang on for a 15-minute time limit draw. So in the next match, then we're going to see Bobby Walker against Chris Harris, and Chris Harris is going to get the victory here. 11-minute contest. I think this is Chris Harris. I think this is Bobby Walker. Sorry, first loss. But Chris Harris is going to get the win there in this one. and Bobby Walker doesn't really have the stamina for it, as told to us by Steve Lombardi, our new road agent. Can he do 10? If he can't do 10, I'm going to leave it 11, I think. I'll just leave it at 10. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, I'm thinking Bobby Walker has not been a great signing for us, but whatever. We can do what we're going to do. As Bobby Walker's walking out, he not fighting. What does he do? Let's have some acting. So he's walking out. Rex King is walking in, and as King passes Walker on way to the ring, a double S in the wrong place here. He taunts him for losing. They exchange words. So obviously Bobby Walker and Rex King have been in a feud for a little while down here, and they're going to exchange words as Walker leaves the ring having lost his match. King walking to the ring, and King's just going to give him a little taunt for having lost. Rex King's then going to face C.W. Anderson in singles competition, and this one is going to be won by C.W. Anderson when we're going to get a distraction finish. Bobby Walker basically distracting Rex King, and to sort of just basically to pay him back for the taunting earlier on and for the fact that they're in a feud. And C.W. Anderson's going to get the victory against Rex King here for the win. So then we're going to have one of the two bigger matches on the show. We're going to have CM Punk and Buddy Wayne against Ace Steel and Barry Buchanan. And I think this one can be a 15-minute match as well. And I think we're going to have... Are we going to have Ace Steel win this one? I think let's give Barry Buchanan a win. Buddy Wayne will lose it. It'll be pinfall finish. It'll be a kind of... In fact, we'll make this the storytelling match as well, I think. Because there's a lot going on here. And the main reason I want to do that is that... Well, the main reason I want to do that is that I want to show the fact that Punk and Wayne are not really on the same page. Because obviously they had a long feud last year. And now they're both baby faces, but it's not like they're best mates or they like each other particularly. And so there's going to be quite a lot of needle between the two as the match goes on. It's not going to spill over into anything other than that, but we're just going to show that they still don't really like each other based on everything that's happened between them in the past. So that's really what we're doing there. And then the final match is for the Northwest title. So this is the first time we've put a title match on one of our free shows, but I felt like this was a lesser title match, and I think you'll know what that means is that Batista wins. We're also going to have this be an overbooked match, pinfall finish victory for Batista, but we're going to have loads of interference here. So Batista is going to be the subject of interference from Ace Steel, Barry Buchanan, Chemo. We can find Chemo, and also we're going to have Billy Kidman. And also we're going to have CM Punk and Buddy Wayne get involved as well to sort of try and nullify the presence of the rebellion. So loads of interference here, but Batista's going to be the winner and retain his title. I just noticed, by the way, that Keith Hart is still on the roster, so I'll just make a note that I need to release him at some point after this show. And that's everything on this one. I think we're all okay in that regard. We're not going to be penalised there. So I think it's time to do it. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get the biggest crowd in company history. 268 people. That should do it. Thank you very much. We start with Ace Steel coming to the ring with Billy Kidman, Barry Buchanan, and Chemo. And Ace Steel reveals that Billy Kidman is indeed the newest member of the Rebellion. He says that this is the place that CM Punk could have been in if it had been smart enough. But now Billy Kidman is in this place and he has the chance to win the Northwest title tonight, which he will do with the full support of the rest of the Rebellion. So this got a segment rating of 43. A really good little segment here, introducing Billy Kidman as the fourth member of the Rebellion. Then Mark Henry and Sean Stasiak versus TJ Wilson and Teddy Hart. A strange one, this one. TJ Wilson got a no gimmick needed gimmick, which had an awful rating. I didn't even check if he was going to be a babyface. I've done it yet again. I don't know how many times I'm going to do it. Just keep forgetting to sort out the kind of disposition of people before they come into the company. No gimmick needed will be fine, although it did get an awful thing. But hopefully, it wasn't a case of the baby face. A case of him being brought in as a heel when I wanted him as a babyface, but we'll see. And the idea behind this match is Mark Henry and Sean Stasiak effectively dominate the whole competition, but they cannot put their opponents away within the 15-minute time limit. And Wilson and Teddy Hart managed to survive through it. You can see here Teddy Hart now 39 in ring performance. He's getting better and better. Mark Henry at 38. Stasiak still at a really high level at the moment of 46. Obviously lost the main event of Season's Beatings in the last episode. And TJ Wilson comes in with an initial rating of 24, which isn't bad at all, actually. Then after this, we had Bobby Walker versus Chris Harris in a really decent match, a segment rating of 42. Bobby Walker visibly tiring towards the end, but Chris Harris, an in-ring performance of 48, carries this to something pretty respectable, and Harris wins in 9:54 by pinfall. As Bobby Walker is exiting the ring area, Rex King walks in, and Rex King kind of taunts him from afar. Walker kind of shouts a few things back to him, and they pass, but Bobby Walker's not particularly happy. This advanced the Rex King and Bobby Walker storyline, but was only a 24 rating segment, despite the fact that both men seem to do pretty well here. So, what are you going to do? I don't know. The next match saw Rex King against C.W. Anderson. It went 13 minutes and 24 seconds and was won by Anderson by pinfall after a distraction from Walker. So this is Walker coming back to the ring after the little altercation before the match and effectively distracting King to allow Anderson to get the victory with a segment rating of 39. Then the tag team match, Ace Steel and Barry Buchanan against CM Punk and Buddy Wayne. And the heels of the Rebellion win this one in 14:44 when Barry Buchanan pins Buddy Wayne with an axe kick. Buddy Wayne got an in-ring performance of 39, Ace Steel a 39, Barry Buchanan a 36. CM Punk, though, a 46, the best performer in the match. And Punk's feud with the Rebellion continues here. Buddy Wayne obviously getting involved because it was the Rebellion who helped Buddy Wayne lose to Billy Kidman. Buddy Wayne's gimmick is getting stale, so that's another thing I need to sort out. And then for the main event, and only a 30 rated match. Now this is really not good. The crowd didn't like the overbooked nature of the match, which is a real shame. This is by far and away the worst defense of Batista's title. But we went with something. We took a shot, and it didn't work out. Sometimes that happens. But this one was full of interference. Batista wins in 10:32 by pinfall, but ultimately that wasn't before we had interference from Ace Steel, Barry Buchanan, Chemo, CM Punk, and Buddy Wayne. Dave Batista makes defense number 8 of the Northwest title here in this free show. The bout dragged in the middle, and the crowd didn't like the overbooked nature of the match, so not the best. Both those feuds also lost heat, which is a real shame. Batista did a 42, Kidman a 39. This wasn't like they performed poorly. The fans just did not react well to the booking of this one. So this is on me. But that ends the show. It increased our popularity, gave us a big crowd. So in all, I'm happy. But yeah, the main event was a letdown. One of the worst main events we've done in some time. Look, sometimes you make a mistake and you have to learn from it. So who are we going to praise for the performances on here? Because it wasn't a show packed with great performances. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give Teddy Hart a compliment because I'm pretty sure that was about the best match we've seen him have. I think we'll give Chris Harris a compliment because he carried Bobby Walker to a really decent contest. And CM Punk, who was the best performer probably of the night, actually. Um, Obviously, no James Storm on this free show. So, you know, he would usually have got it, I think. So we're going to go to January 2001 now. So I'm certainly not going to be getting to the next show because I want to kind of look at everything that happens at the end of the year, which is one of our favorite things to do. Obviously, look at all the awards that come through, see if there are any last shows. Although I don't think there would have been any shows on the last day of the year. Possibly WCW. We'll see in a moment. indeed Starrcade took place. Let's just go straight to that. Starrcade 2000, the main event, Chicky Star defeated Sting for the WCW World Heavyweight title. So Chicky Star becomes the World Heavyweight Champion again, but a 71 rated match shows that they're still going in the wrong direction. Randy Savage defeated Arn Anderson on the semi-main. Scott Hall and Brad Armstrong defeated Bam Bigelow and VK Wall Street. All these guys pretty old or not particularly impressive, and underneath they just do not have the quality. So WCW remain in big trouble despite 41,000 attendance. I feel like we're just waiting for the bottom to drop out of WCW, quite frankly. Now, in terms of the awards, so Shawn Michaels is the Wrestler of the Year. I'm going to see who else was in the Power 500 or where they were. So Bret Hart's in second. So Michaels and Bret Hart effectively dominate these rankings pretty much all the time. Then we've got Kevin Nash at 3. Kevin Nash is doing so well. Undertaker, Rey Mysterio Jr., Brian Pillman. I think all these are in WWF. Owen Hart, Lex Luger, Yokozuna. All of them are in WWF. Sid Vicious, WWF. Dustin Rhodes, WWF. Shane Douglas is in WWF. And then Mascarita Sagrada is the top non-WWF wrestler. So WWF are currently in a very, very good place. I'll be interested to see where the top WCW guy is, because I don't think there are much chance of too many of them occupying the top spaces in these rankings. Indeed, I'm going right the way down here to 27th. We had plenty of CMML wrestlers in the top 500 in the ranking so far. Still not seeing anybody who's potentially a WCW guy. And Billy Gunn, Hogan's in WWF, of course, again. I don't think Lawler, Booker T, no, he's in WWF now, of course. Don't think he's in WCW at this time. Barry Horowitz, WWF. The Sandman, ECW and Smoky Mountain. Davey Boy Smith's in WWF. Mark Canterbury's in WWF. I mean, I can't find them. In fact, let's do the obvious thing and see who they work for. So WCW search 101 is the top ranked WCW star in the 500. I wonder if there's anybody from the Random Wrestling Revue in that. Let's have a look. So Chemo's 89th, Rocco Rock 29, Johnny Grunge. I mean, they don't really work for me. Lombardi's just joined. But CM Punk, CW Anderson, Rex King, Chris Harris, and James Storm are all in the 500. I think they should be higher given some of the performance of these guys. But that's where they are. And yeah, we've got a few things to think about with regards to our roster, because you have still got Rocco Rock and Johnny Grunge on the roster following the one-shot deal they did at Seasons Meetings, where I forgot to give them the right contract. Now, as for that show, I think that will be quite a long way down the New Year's Bash, because we didn't have a great main event at all. In fact, it's right down here, 40th best show we've ever done, which is mainly because of the main event, because I bet there's one or two decent matches. There were one or two decent matches on the show, and I bet they're a bit higher than that suggests. So there you go. There was the semi-main, was the 21st best match in company history. So it wasn't like it was a really poor show. It's just that main event really let it down. And can't see anything else here in terms of... Oh, yeah, there you are. Chris Harris and Bobby Walker's matches there. Now, top 100 attendances, though, it is the most attended show by quite a long way. 268 attendance. That's, over 50 above the previous best. So that's really cool. Our size has gone up to 22 as well, so we've increased our size again. Canada, we've got some increases there in Alberta, British Columbia, and we've also still just got the one in Mexico. Incidentally, in between episodes, I checked on the TV thing whether we could get a broadcaster to be interested in us. Unfortunately, whilst we could do, if we were willing to put up our production values, the cost of doing so is prohibitive at the moment, especially as you can see, financially, we are in a bit of a bind. We lost $2,000 last month, and that's because largely because we just did a free show. If we hadn't done that, we'd probably have only lost about $600. So maybe that's something to think about and not be too concerned by. But whatever the case, yeah, we couldn't afford the upgrades in production value that we would need to make in order to get those broadcasting deals. So that's for another time. And that is also, speaking of time, our time up today. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you the next time.